Hello you sexy biscuits and welcome back into Kingdom Come Deliverance. So today I wanted to talk about performance, but also we do have an update on patch 1.4 coming to consoles. Over on Twitter, Warhorse Studios themselves posted, patch 1.43 was sent out for certification for Xbox One today. It will contain all recent patches from 1.4 upwards, and should be available for users at some time next week. The PS4 and PC versions of patch 1.43 are still a work in progress, and will follow soon. So this is kind of a weird way of doing it. Generally, they will release the updates first on PC, and then a couple of weeks later, they will have certification for releasing them on consoles. Generally, you'll have, let's say, 1.4 come out on PC, and by the time that it comes out on consoles, will be on patch 1.42, or as in this case, 1.43. At this moment in time, we don't have any information on what 1.43 will be including, but the idea that it is going to be kind of putting everything together that we've had on PC up to this point for console users is great. So if you're on Xbox One, next week you will get your update, and I'm guessing PS4 and PC will be immediately afterwards. Patches don't generally get put out too far apart when it comes to consoles. They normally release around the same time. PC, of course, is the only difference there, and they normally get those sooner. There is something that I've seen on my comment section that has confused me a little bit. A few PS4 owners have reached out to me and said, hey, I have patch 1.5. Why don't I have customization options? Now, as we know, patch 1.5 in theory doesn't exist. Patch 1.4 is the latest, apart from, of course, the little increment updates that have come out since. Patch 1.5 will be massive when that comes out. It's probably going to do the same thing that patch 1.3 and patch 1.4 did, adding in many bug fixes, up to 300 like last time. I'm assuming that this is an error on the PS4 and it's reading it as being a patch that doesn't in theory exist. I'm assuming that is in theory patch 1.35, but you will be getting patch 1.4 and all of its little add-ons in the next week or so. And I think this brings me on to performance, because since patch 1.4 has come out, the game has run great. As I'm walking around here, I'm getting 72 FPS, and when I look down into the town, I get about 63. This was never the case. I'd be getting about 30 to 40 while in towns. If you actually noticed early videos of mine, I'd be riding pebbles out in the forest because it would run at about 60 FPS, and I generally didn't go into the towns. But now I can, and this game looks stunning. I get an awful lot of questions on what specs I have, and those will be down in the description below. Also, in terms of how my game looks, as I've mentioned before, I go into editing afterwards and I boost saturation and kind of boost that contrast a little bit to make it look better for YouTube. Generally, YouTube uploads darken when they're released and they look kind of crap, so if you're editing, I would highly recommend boosting the saturation and brightness. I think that a lot of people assume I'm using some form of reshader or EMB, and that's not the case. I can't run any EMB on my computer, it's not that good. And now for something related to the channel. Now this is kind of important. I think I need to get this out there so you guys know. If you are subscribed to me, make sure to click the bell. Recently it's come out that YouTube isn't showing all of the videos that get released to their subscribers. So if I was to put out a Kingdom Come Deliverance video one day, it would go to you. And then if I was to put a Far Cry video out the next day, they may think, oh, that person obviously isn't interested, and they wouldn't even bother showing that video in my subscription list. That is, of course, an issue. If I have an important update that I want you guys to know, there might be the chance that you may not even see it. So by clicking that notification bell, it means that they will generally push them out, but even with the notification bell now clicked, that's not always the case. Yesterday I put out my first episode of my Let's Play for Kingdom Come, and it didn't do as well as most of my other videos. Of course, I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm absolutely shocked that this channel is getting the views that it is, but it's still a little bit disheartening, and I think that that was partly down to YouTube itself. I absolutely love every single one of you, and I cannot thank you enough for subscribing and supporting me. As I'm moving next week, the videos that I'm uploading will be a little bit shorter than normal. I think if anyone's moved, they know it's a stressful time, and also I need to set up my room to be able to record okay and have good audio quality. So that's why I've created Sexy Plays. Sexy Plays is a series where I play a game that interests me and I think will interest you, and it's a 5 or so minute video where we just check out the game and have some fun in it. And I'm surprised that no one else on YouTube had picked up the name Sexy Plays, so we're going to take that and run with it. So the first video of that will be Radical Heights, which is a new Battle Royale game. But if you're not too interested in Battle Royale, definitely make sure to watch it because it is very, very funny. It's a cool game. It's set in the 80s and it's got this crazy game show style to it. And I think it's probably my favorite Battle Royale game at the moment. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. You all are awesome. Until next time, you're all sexy biscuits. And that's me out. Bye, you guys.